everything has changed.
Looking back on 2025, it's very clear that something has changed. First off, a lot happened this year. With Trump taking the presidency in mid January, a lot of us did not know what we were going to get. There were those of us who took up the pragmatic position that we knew who and what Donald Trump was and is. That he was not going to get in there and be the based American Caesar that some people seem to pretend he was going to be. That actually we were going to get a somewhat standard Republican who liked to use our language. And the thing is, the Trump phenomenon is really just part of a larger shift. That cracking sound that you hear is the Overton window, and it's moving to the right. And it's about darn time. I've pointed out before, but it's worth repeating. Since at least the 60s, potentially even the 50s or 40s, the real right wing in America has been chased out of polite society. We have been told for years and years that to be a Republican is basically to be a Mike Pence or maybe a Thomas Massey or Rand Paul. Potentially, if you are a little bit adventurous, a Barry Goldwater. But that's the idea, to be some guy with his suit giving speeches about why we need to cut taxes and why unregulated, unrestricted capitalism is somehow conservative. That's what conservatism is supposed to be. And unfortunately, too many people fall into that. There's been a lot of attacking our guys, the real right wing, this year. They may call us the woke right. They may call us the Eurotrash right. They may call us fake conservatives. They may say that we are jihadis or Qatari supported, funded, Russian supporters, Putin supporters. They're going to continue to use these terms to attack us. I read something that I thought was very interesting that I wanted to share with you. Mark Levin, that wonderful bundle of joy, Mark Levin took to X and he responded to someone. There's an account, Max Twain 24, who tweeted, "Rumors are swirling that Meghan, meaning Megyn Kelly, is bringing on a crisis PR specialist to try and bail her out of the spiral." Mark R. Levin quote tweeted this and said, "PR team, Kelly needs a psychiatrist." Someone, and this is at AEL, the player, I'm not sure, tweeted back at Mr. Levin and said, "Do you think anybody actually believes you anymore?" At which point, at Agit Propmaster, that's AGIT, Propmaster, responded, "Imagine being a powerful evil sorcerer and your magic words controlled people. And then one day they controlled fewer people, and then a bunch of the people they used to control started angrily walking towards you. It would be hard to do anything but yell the magic words louder." This is a very good comparison. This is what Levin is doing here. All he's done his entire life is yell about how the other side are socialist, the other side are anti-Semites, the other side are not real conservatives. He does not know what to do. He has no other line of attack except to just yell on Twitter and on his little radio show. So with that being said, back to the part I showed at the beginning of this. What has changed? Basically, what it is the real right wing is able to communicate a little bit more effectively because of X, but has never really given up. Ever since Trump ran in 2016, they've been trying to get into the mainstream. They've never really gone away, to be clear, ever since the 70s, 80s, when Buchanan and his ilk were kicked out of the conservative movement and were labeled all of the things: the R word, meaning racist, the N word, meaning National Socialist, and here's another one, the W word for like white nationalist. They were labeled all these things, and these real right wingers never really went away. They continue to talk, continue to speak, and gain influence. But Donald Trump running in 2016 and talking about we're going to build a wall and we're going to deport them all, and the Iraq War was a big mistake, it called back to the Buchanan run, and it really got our guys back into the political process where we were interested in it again. And that was just the beginning. This was always bigger than Trump and was never just about Trumpism and MAGA. Now this movement is continuing to grow, and it's a big division on the right between the fake right and the real right. The fake right meaning those neoconservative types who are Bush supporters and want the Republican Party to go back to the way it was.
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Things have been changed forever. And going forward, Ronald Reagan, we're going to cut taxes. Mike Pence, oh, it's only, morning in America. We're the best people who's ever lived on this planet, is not going to cut it, at least not with young people. And things are changing, and they're changing rapidly. And whenever I look at someone like Shapiro or Levin, more than pathetic, I just see someone that's out of touch. They don't know what time it is. That's what I see first and foremost. They don't understand the change that has happened. Trump running was the first big part. The second thing that really moved the right was COVID, and then the Floyd race riots, the totally legitimate and believable 2020 election. And then, as time's gone on, looking at 2024, the right wing is not dying down. It's not going away. It is only getting stronger. And another thing that I almost forgot to mention was October the 7th and the reaction to it. The irrational yelling and screaming on Twitter and on the totally acceptable conservative spaces like Daily Wire and The Blaze, talking about basically everyone that argues with them is an anti-Semite. Or, the case of James Lindsay, anyone that argues with me is woke right or funded by Qatar. In the case of someone like Joel Berry or Seth Dillon. This has been very enlightening, very educational for our guys who are continuing to get more into the mainstream. And there is no going back. The idea that they're going to run candidates in 2028, not like Tim Scott, like Nikki Haley, is not going to work. If they run, they are not going to do well with young people. They will do well with the boomer conservatives, and that's about it. So it is going to be an even sharper divide as time goes on. This idea of, we all need to get behind this person because he has an R next to his name is just not true. It's not going to be sufficient. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you go to thefogandthewhirlwind.substack.com/subscribe. Thank you very much for your support. Make sure you follow me on social media. There's links in the description below. God bless you and see you next time.